Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at our firmware specific details in terms of our wiring and our firmware package that we have to work with. So in this particular tutorial, we're going to be taking a look first here at a John Reed Racing Subaru STI package. Now, this particular package is going to have specific inputs and outputs assigned for various things. Now, this package is assuming that you're running the M150 box and running his particular jumper harness. So everything should be out of the box assigned correctly because what you're using has all been wired and configured for you. However, if you want to change something within the wiring or you want to know some details about his firmware package that might deviate from your typical Motec package that you'd purchase, such as a GPR package, you can take a look in a specific area that's going to give us this information. So let's start to review and understand what's going on here. So first things first, if we head up here into the help area, we're going to find in our drop down, we're going to find two different things: firmware help and firmware wiring. Now under the firmware help, this is going to give us all the details about the specific firmware set that we're working with. So we can see here, we're getting the details of all of the information for John Reed for his particular package. We also find in the current version what is going to be included. So this gives us details that we need to know at a quick glance. We can also find other specific information that's going to be suitable from the package over here on the left-hand side. This is a navigation tree that's going to expand out and give us more information. So for example here, under Subaru STI, if we click the little icon button there, it's going to start to expand downwards. This is going to give us things specific for a Subaru STI chassis, such as the communications and the CAN bus information. So we can find what's assigned to a particular firmware resource that's going to be used for a CAN bus broadcasting. And this is going to be all specific to the Subaru STI for this plug-and-play package from John Reed. So for example here, we're going to find that the front left speed sensor is on firmware resource 0, or something like air conditioning request is on firmware resource 11. This is pre-coded and predefined CAN bus information specific to this package from John Reed. So you're not able to take this package and use it on another vehicle and expect the CAN bus to work properly because John has coded it for that specific firmware set that he's selling you in your package. This is information that's definitely going to be very, very useful. I like to take a look at this CAN bus information when I'm working with more plug-and-play packages rather than a universal package from Motec like a GPR package, because that won't have specific firmware what we're finding in here. So this is some of the details that we definitely want to poke into and take a look that's associated to the firmware package that we're potentially going to be purchasing or have purchased and plan on running on our vehicle. Now, the other very important detail here is going to be from the wiring for our specific package here. So we close out of here and we go into help again and we go into firmware wiring. Now in here, we're going to find everything that's related to our specific firmware package and what's been assigned in terms of inputs and outputs. This is critical if you're going to try to figure out where something's been wired to. You need to know, number one, where the pinout location is going to be wired to. So if you're trying to figure out, let's say, adding in a temperature sensor, you might not know what's available in terms of a spare analog input. You can go in here and find out what's been pre-assigned. Now, if you're dealing with a GPR package, for example, from Motec, that's a universal package. So we have a lot more flexibility in terms of where we can wire things into and what we choose for inputs and outputs. So if you're getting an engine harness made, for example, from an engine harness builder, they're going to give you a input-output list that's specific to the pinouts that they've wired your engine harness to for your Motec box that you're working with. Then you could go to their pinout chart for inputs and outputs, and then go in and take a look at what you have assigned in your particular calibration file. So for example here, we're going to find that analog voltage input 11 has been associated to fuel pressure sensor voltage. So this is where on the John Reed plug-and-play package with the John Reed plug-and-play harness, they have the fuel pressure sensor wired to. I might want to go and move it to a different analog voltage input. There might be something I want to wire in there, or I want to see what other additional analog voltage inputs are available in my firmware package. We can very quickly see this. We notice here that AV7 through AV10 is open. We can see that's blank. There's nothing in the fields here designating what it's been assigned to already. And then we also have then analog voltage 12 all the way to 17. Those are also available. So this would be on the analog voltage input side of things. We have 2 spare temperature inputs here, input 5 and 6, that aren't being used. If we go down here a little bit further, we're going to find that we have low side inputs that are being assigned to specific tasks or functions. And here, low side output 1 through 4 is associated to our ignition coil control. So this is controlling the actual outputs to our ignition coils. We can go down here, we can see low side 6 is available for the output for the AC clutch control. So low side 5 would be a spare low side output that we could use for our project if we wanted to wire in something additional. So you get the idea of what to look for here in this specific wiring chart or pinout chart, so to speak. This tells you what's associated to your file for your firmware package. Let's go here. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.